So Kevin, tell us a little bit more about yourself and help us become better storytellers.
Well, I think I'm already in the midst of a lot of storytellers, and this picture is a sight for sore eyes. I just love seeing so many gift givers right there on the Zoom. And a little bit about me. I want to tell you a little bit about me, and then I want to just share with you a little bit that I can on how to tell or read a story so that it makes an impact. And honestly, that's when I was in kindergarten, I was a sixth grade reader. And it was because my mother would sit me down and my five brothers and sisters and would turn off the television and say, "You're not getting up until you hear this story." And then tell me about Clay County, West Virginia. And the only places that we went was Ohio and West Virginia. So I thought the only two states in the country were Ohio and West Virginia. But she would mesmerize me with story, and we fell in love with story, but I was a listener at that point. And to this day, she is the resident storyteller. And I'm going to run this fast because it's not more of a biography of me. It's how can I help you in the great work that you're already doing. But I became the first full-time high school storytelling teacher in the country. I had in California in a public school. I got my master's and doctorate in using storytelling as a primary means of education. I started Youth Educators Storytellers Special Interest Group, and I've traveled just like you around the country and around the world, just giving the gift of story. And I've shepherded a youth renaissance with some others in storytelling, where they travel as tellers. They did 50 shows a year outside of the local town, and we've started storytelling troops. And at one point, we registered 118 youth storytelling groups across the country, Japan, and Canada. But you know, some of the most powerful story is the one that you have embarked to tell. And so, if I can, you know, in the short time that Ed and I talk, I came up with some tips and I typed them up, and I'm going to just share some of those. And what I ask is that you try it. And after trying it, you're like, that doesn't work for me. That's all right. No worries. But honestly, you all embrace the power of story. Who you are is story. So let me start with that. And anytime you can interrupt me and ask a question, because literally I'm serving you, you know, I know this material, you know, but I can learn more through you. The very first thing is Lance Henson is a Cheyenne Native American who once said to me that stories are gifts. It's up to us to take them and receive them. And so I want you to think of stories not as a fearful action, or giving a speech not as a fearful action, but what gift do I give? I mean, you make people happy, you make people cry sometimes when they're too young. You know that. But you let them experience Santa Claus in every way. But you all interpret that story different. And you need to see your job, and you probably already do, as a gift giver. But I also want you to see telling the story or reading the book as a way of sharing more of the experience of the gift. And with that, I want to say thank you, because when I was a child, and I know you hear this many, many, many times, but my father was on disability, worked at Goodyear, and when Christmas happened, we would go into O'Neill's, and there would be gift, and all it would say would be boy, and the other one would say girl. And my father didn't make a lot of money; he was on disability, and honestly, I don't remember a package that said boy or a package that said girl. I remember Santa saying, "Sit on my lap and go get yourself a gift." And it could have said anything, but it was a gift from Santa. So if I haven't thanked Santa, I'm thanking him now, if that's okay. All right. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. So the second thing I want to tell you is that you create the environment for reading. Yeah, I'm a literacy professor, and I have, you know, I just today talked to my students, and they said, you know, our professors are so boring. And I said, you pay to get bored. That's not good. All right. You